putting on my oxygen mask first, if you will, before assisting others. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is going to be a bit of a different kind of video. It's going to be definitely a bit less structured. It's a bit of a chit chat, a bit of a vlog, a bit of a TED talk, all about feeling burnt out and how to sort of know when you're feeling burnt out, what might be some signs and things you can do to get rid of the burnout feeling. And it's something that I'm dealing with literally right this moment in life, letting burnout creep in and trying to sort of get over it this weekend pretty much, because I've definitely been feeling burnt out in the past week or so. It's something I tend to do somewhat frequently, and it's definitely something I'm trying to work on so that it doesn't happen as often. But basically, I do think I'm starting to get quicker at sort of noticing the signs that I'm getting burnt out and making some changes to fix it, because as a PhD student, and if you're new here, my name is Ciara, I'm a PhD student in Dublin, Ireland, and this channel is all about being productive, doing a PhD, all of that. And I suppose a huge part of being productive is being able to do your work and being able to make the best use of your time and your energy levels and everything like that. But if you are constantly doing too much, you will become burnt out. And this is definitely something that I struggle with a huge amount, a lot. I definitely take on too much. And it's something that, you know, from a young age, I remember my parents always telling me not to be burning the candle at both ends and like taking on too much. And it's always very frustrating thing for someone to say to you, I think, if you're the type of person that does have a habit of doing this. It's always, I think, really frustrating when you have people telling you to sort of, you know, calm it down when you feel like you can't, like when you feel like you have too many responsibilities and things that you have given yourself to, that you feel like you can't take the time for yourself, and it's just quite difficult. It's something that I've definitely been learning more about this year in particular, in I suppose the past couple of months in particular. So let's just talk about what burnout looks like for me basically. And I think it's really different for every person, but for me, I know there is generally sort of a period where I will be starting to do too much and staying up late doing work for whatever it might be, PhD, business, YouTube channel. It could even just be stuff around the house, like general projects or anything like that, to be honest, that there will be a period where I'm just doing too much. I'm staying up late. No amount of my spare time is going to myself. When I am in that mode of like just wanting to sort of get things done and trying to just do it all the time, all day, every day, if you know what I mean. If I'm just trying to work pretty much all hours, my stress, the way it sort of manifests is I will forget to eat properly. So I will be like not eating right. So if I haven't put in the time to do my meal prep, that means that I then during the week as well probably won't put in time to actually make myself proper meals, and I will like ignore cues that I need to eat or that I'm thirsty or that I'm like even need to go to the bathroom. Like I get into this really sort of mindset of like just doing stuff. And so like naturally that like later on in the week will take a huge toll in my energy levels, because I will have not been eating properly and like fueling my body right. So naturally I will be feeling more tired, but I also will stop doing the things that I know are really good for me in terms of staying well. So exercising is something that I know really makes me feel great and helps me a lot to maintain good energy levels. I know that if I don't exercise, I will feel sluggish, and that's sort of like a vicious cycle, because when you don't feel like you want to exercise, then you don't do it, and then you don't feel like you want to, and it just sort of goes on. And then other things like just enjoying time for hobbies, like I do just let all of that stuff go. I let time with friends go, and I don't make good use of my family time. So that's just like all of the different things that happens when I'm in a burnout mode. And usually I sort of won't be mentally aware of these things, but I will have some like physical symptoms, I guess, that go along with the burnout. And that's something I'm trying to work on, is like I don't have the best like mind-body connection with these things. So essentially I won't be like registering that these things are happening in my mind or feeling any sort of emotions around this, but feeling only the physical symptoms that have come from like the longer process. I suppose midway through this week then I started feeling really dizzy and really nauseous and really tired. And just definitely those would be the main things that I tend to feel when I'm feeling burnt out, like dizziness. I think largely because it comes from like having a lack of general vitamins and stuff. And yeah, so like last week, for example, like I was on my period, so I definitely needed to be taking care of myself in terms of diet, especially like for me, I know this is TMI, but it's very heavy, so I will lose a lot of blood. I need a lot of like iron, and I randomly just didn't eat meat for like 5 days. And I know I can get iron in other ways, but right now, the way my diet works, that will be the main source that I will get it from. So I know that by Wednesday, I was like basically on the verge of fainting because I had not been eating properly. So that's not great. It's something that now when I feel these things, what I start doing is seeing, is there anything I can do now in the next couple of days to fix this? So what I ended up doing this weekend was I made a conscious effort to not do anything on Friday evening when I was thinking like about doing something social. Decided not to do anything on Friday. Like I even just knew I needed to rest on Friday, and I knew I needed to get some vitamins into me and get some exercise into me instead of, staying on and work late or going out socializing after work, which I may have been inclined to do on a Friday. Especially, usually me and Jack would spend time together on Fridays, but he was working, so I felt like because of that I was like maybe going to go out with friends, and I'm really glad that I didn't. I basically decided that I did need to do a bit of a self-care weekend, so I arranged for someone to cover my class on Saturday for the class that I teach with the business, and I think that would have been fine because we would have ended up merging the two classes anyways. Because of the week that was in it, there was going to be a lot of students missing, so they only really needed 1 or 2 teachers, and it was a week where I knew everyone else was going to be there, so I thought that would just be better rather than making myself unwell. Like I knew that if I didn't jump in at this moment and do something, then I would have actually ended up being sick. Like I kept taking COVID tests from like Wednesday on last week because I knew, like just antigen tests, I knew I wasn't right. But like I know I don't have COVID. All the tests have been negative. It was just that I was burning out and feeling like if I didn't do something then I would have become sick, and it would have meant that this coming week I would not have been able to work, which would have been a disaster. Yeah, I think to take 2 hours off of work in order to like fix things, I think is definitely worth doing. If you need to take a half day in order to save yourself a whole week of work, do it. So that's what I chose to do. Like I was asked to do something on Friday evening and I just had to say like, no, I can't. Like I need to rest. And I'm really glad that I did that. I think I could have ended up doing that. Like it was one of those things, I find it really hard to say no to stuff, like especially when I am like free, that I could, when you can do something, I find it really hard to say no to things, and I always feel like I need to make excuses. But I just said like, look, no, I need to rest, and I'm really glad that I did that for myself. It was really stormy on Friday. I was thinking, would I go shopping, would I go grocery shopping, get groceries, do all of that, and actually make myself a really nice meal? And I was thinking I would do that, but it was so stormy. I was looking out being like, I do not want to go. I was going to go to the gym. What I decided to do instead was an at-home workout. I'm lucky that Jack is a personal trainer, so he has actually quite good weights and stuff around the house. So I was able to do an actually pretty good workout at home. And I did like an online cardio class and then some stretching as well. So I did like a solid, I'd say 90-minute workout, just like really taking my time with it and enjoying it. I watched a series of a show that was like sort of trash but also great. It was called One of Us Is Lying. I was actually good. I did like it. I liked it a lot. It sort of reminded me of Cruel Summer, if anyone's watched that. So I wasn't planning on watching an entire season that night, but it was just something that I felt like I was enjoying, and that I was not like sitting there stressed binge watching something, but just sort of like enjoying it and watching it. So I had it on while I was doing my exercise. I ordered in some food, but I went for like a healthy option. So I went to a Thai restaurant, which I feel Thai food in general is quite healthy, and Saba is the one that I like. And I got one, I just knew I needed to get something with like loads of vegetables, so I got this beef like paleo red curry with loads of vegetables, and then I added in some rice at home, just because I feel like when I get takeaways oftentimes there is too much rice or noodles, so I tend to go for one that doesn't have any. And that was really nice. I opened a nice bottle of red wine that I had at home and just sort of enjoyed the evening. I did a little bit of planning on Friday. I do feel like when I am feeling burnt out, it can often be because I'm sort of feeling a bit overwhelmed. So I did a little bit of planning and just got a little bit ahead of my planning for next month, because I've been, as I said, just sort of taking on a lot of things. Next month, I was looking at it the other day, and it was just like almost every day is a key date for some appointment or event or something, like, which is really abnormal for me. Like if I look at January, I think I had like 5 things in my calendar, whereas I have like 30 things in my calendar for March. So it's just kind of wild, I guess. You'll see that in my monthly reset video next month, or next week I should say. And I didn't really do much else on Friday evening. I really just enjoyed sitting and relaxing, and I didn't feel stressed. I wasn't thinking, oh god, I have to do this or I have to do that or whatever, which is something that I'm very sort of glad about from adopting the getting things done method. It's something I'm going to do a video on soon. It's really helped me to be able to just sit in these moments and be able to relax and like veg out and not be doing it because I'm trying to avoid stuff or because I'm stressed. Then Saturday, it was a day off for me, and like, I suppose one thing I should have mentioned is that I don't take days off. Like, I have Sundays off every week and I do spend it on YouTube stuff. So like, does it count as a day off? Probably not. I really do tend to work every day. Like I work most days. Sometimes I will take a whole Sunday off, especially if I've already pre-filmed content. I can take a day off. But like, I honestly, part of it I think is like, obviously I've taken on certain responsibilities in different areas of life. Some of them I chose and some of them chose me. And I feel like sometimes the only way that I can deal with the fact that I don't have control over certain elements of my life in a way is by doing the things that I have taken on that I have control over. So like, yeah, I could spend the day like not doing any work, but I feel like because having the YouTube channel and working on that is something that I chose, and I'm answering to myself by doing that. But I obviously know that I do have responsibilities to people that watch, but it's mainly to me that I have the responsibility. And I feel like doing it makes me feel like I have some control, even though I know that doing it all does burn me out sometimes. It's just sort of a difficult one, I think, in that way. So Saturday was pretty chill altogether. I sort of got started on some of my Sunday like reset activities, so that it meant that now Sunday, which is today, is going to be a lot more chill. So basically I just did some of the cleaning around the house. I went grocery shopping. I sorted out all of the clothes in my wardrobe because earlier this week I moved all of my clothes into our new house, like all the rest of my clothes, and so it meant that there was just stuff falling out of wardrobes and all of that. So I sorted all those out, which is going to be a really nice thing that for the next week means I don't have stuff like that bothering me. And I did like the laundry stuff, I did the bins, just like all that kind of thing. I was gonna do my meal prep yesterday and then I just didn't feel like it, so that was that. And then in the evening I watched, like, Jack went out to watch rugby and I just watched a load of vlogs. I love a good vlog. I really do. I think vlogs are my favorite type of content to watch on YouTube. and I always feel like people won't be interested in watching them from me, so I don't really feel like I can make them unless I have something specific to talk about or to do in the vlog. But to be honest, it's the type of content I like making, even though it's sort of hard, it can be difficult to do. I just sort of feel like it's probably good for me to be able to do something that I like a vlog each week, and then something that's more like informative each week, and sort of just have a bit of both. So I think that's like what I want to start doing more in my content. So this was something that I was thinking about last night. And last night I did just do a lot of reflection, which I feel like is a great thing to do if you are feeling burnt out. Start to think about, what is it that's not really going well for me right now? What is it that's leading me here, basically? And I did some of that. So I think one thing was around like trying to do too many videos that are really informative and that take that sort of energy, when I could be doing things like vlogs, 1 of the 2 videos a week that are just trying to do what I'm already doing, and they are that bit more easy. And I think that's something that I also enjoy doing, even if it doesn't necessarily perform super well, or if people don't necessarily love them. I like them, and I suppose that's sort of important. So that's something I was reflecting on. Just other things as well, like reflecting on what is it that leads you to these points. So for me, I know that people pleasing is something that I'm working on, and part of burning out is because you feel obliged to do things in a way. So I definitely know that I get like that because I'll feel like I can't take time for myself before I've spent all of this time trying to please everybody else. This is definitely something I'm trying to work on this year, is how to please myself before that didn't sound right. how to take care of myself before taking care of other people. Putting on my oxygen mask first, if you will, before assisting others, or even just caring about other people's needs at all. It's something I really don't do. Like, really, I don't do it, and I need to do it more. It's something that I'm working on. So I just did a big reflection on that, and on, like, I suppose reflecting on as well, like, people in my life that just seem to, in my mind, just find it so much easier to do that, and like, why is that, and why can't I do that? And just thinking about that. So it's something for me to discuss with my counsellor on Monday, because even though I suppose nothing in a way happened, it's just, I suppose, a learning experience. So I did a lot of reflection. I found that really peaceful, and it did just help me to understand a little bit about what I was feeling. And so another thing that I consider in that reflection is what isn't working, pretty much like what isn't working in my schedule, my routines, in what I'm doing, that other than the fact that I'm taking on too many things from other people, taking on too much in terms of actual things that people want me to do, or things that I think people want me to do, or things I need to do to make people feel a certain way about me. Just taking on too much of other people's emotions and other people's expectations. Other than that, which is a huge thing in itself and not something I'm going to be fixing overnight. But I suppose the other element of like, is there anything like actually not working in terms of my space, my routines, everything like that. So one thing that's hugely not been working for me at the moment is, like, I do go home to my family home a couple of days a week to mind our family dog, Lola, when there's no one else home. Since I moved out, I had cleared out some stuff that I had left in my sister's room. I put a couple of boxes back into my room, so like 2 or 3 boxes that I needed to sort out. There was like a general mess of me having moved out and left some things around the place. But then also my mom had been doing up her office at home and had had to move all of the stuff that was in her office into my room to make space for the new stuff. That meant that when I went home, a lot of the time being in my room, which is typically where I would work and obviously sleep and often like exercise and do all of that stuff, there was like stuff everywhere and I just did not want to be there. And that was like quite an upsetting thing, because obviously I love being at home. And just feeling like I couldn't do my work, which is difficult because then it would lead to like stress throughout the week then of having been behind on work. So that was a huge thing that hadn't been working for me. And I suppose that's something I've already started fixing, and that my family have started fixing as well. Like, we've all been working on it, that, you know, all the furniture has been moved, and then anything that wasn't mine was put back upstairs. And now in the last week, so this is part of the reason that I'm burnt out, has been in a way like an act of self-care, in that I basically cleared out all of my clothes and all of the dressers and stuff in my room and moved them all here, or got rid of stuff like that I wanted to get rid of, and then moved any things that I need to sort out into one area and just rearrange stuff. And part of that is because my brother wants to move to my room and I might go to his room for the time that I am at home. So part of the things I did was I stayed up late doing stuff like that earlier last week. But I know that when I go home today, I will be very thankful for myself, and I will have gotten over the fact that I probably had a couple of iffy days with that. But anyways, so that's one thing that hasn't been working for me that I'm hoping will be fixed by this week. Yeah, I'm definitely happy with that. And then other things, I suppose, food wise, because I keep ending up having to buy lunch on a Friday in work because my meal prep only goes till about Wednesday or Thursday. So I've just not been loving that. I've not been preparing well for food on Fridays, and it just doesn't leave me right. And same thing on Saturdays when I have drama. So I think I'm going to start doing 2 meal preps a week. So doing one on Sundays that's for like Sunday lunch, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday lunch, and then doing a meal prep on Wednesday that's for Wednesday dinner because I teach on Wednesday evenings, and then Thursday, Friday, Saturday lunch. So I think I'm going to start doing that. I think that would really help me. And then having cleared out my room, it means that when I'm at home, I think I'll be more able to do some at-home workouts, which I think would be good. What else? I feel like that's mainly been it. But those are things that I feel like do contribute a lot to a continuing build-up of things. Saturday, I did a lot of reflection. I thought about things like that. I thought about, ways I could fix things. And what else? Not a lot else happened. I made myself some nice food yesterday, finished off my wine. What else did I do? I had a nice long shower. I plaited my hair, so that's why my hair is nice and wavy today. And I actually just love when my hair is wavy. I think because I do have like quite sort of frizzy, I don't know if it's frizzy, but it gets sort of easily, it easily gets messy. Whereas like when it's like this, it's just sort of like, well, it's messy anyways. And so I feel like in a way that was some self-care for me to just be able to have this today. And I feel like it's, again, stuff like that. I think taking care of my appearance is something I don't really do. And again, it's something that I feel I almost don't deserve a lot of the time because I am behind on work or whatever. And again, it all comes down to taking care of yourself first before you take care of other people. And it's something that I always feel really good when I do it. So it's something I need to remind myself of more often and spend some time doing. So like today, for the first time, I'd say this whole month, I actually moisturized, and something that like I knew earlier in the month I was feeling like I needed to do it. Same way like I cut my nails yesterday, I think. And it was one of those things where like I knew for like probably a week that I needed to do this, but I didn't because I felt like I had too much other stuff to do. I do definitely just have a hard time doing the basic like bare minimum of looking after myself in that way. Yeah, that was it. So then today, Sunday, I got up early with Jack this morning because he used to get up early for work, and I went to the gym, and I hadn't been to the gym in I'd say about 2 weeks, which didn't feel good, and I was a bit nervous going, even though I knew like I would have been fine. It was just sort of like, when you get out of a habit with something, it becomes kind of difficult to restart. And yeah, it was really good. I felt great. I found it really easy. The gym was empty. It was really good. And then I came home, just finished up the rest of my sort of like cleaning activities and did my meal prep and sat down to film this video pretty much. And I feel like there's not really a huge amount more I need to do today in that way. I need to probably upload this video. I need to do out a big thing for something I need to send off tomorrow. And I definitely can feel some stress about that because it's been something that I've had to take on sort of suddenly. And it definitely is something that sort of triggered a bit of stress in me because I'm worried about it, like how it's going to go. It'll be over before I know it in a way though, so that's sort of the thing about it as well. Anyways, I hope that this was an interesting video for you. I hope that if you're feeling similar to me at all, at any point you will be feeling somewhat seen in that way. And yeah, I hope you're all doing well. I'm definitely feeling a lot better. I'm feeling like I can go into the rest of my day now, today on Sunday, just sort of relaxing and enjoying myself. I think it'll be really nice. I think one thing just to say as well is I found it almost crazy that I did absolutely no work of any kind in a whole day yesterday. Well, thanks everyone for watching. If you're still here, I don't know, let me know that you're still here watching away in the comments, and let me know if you like this type of video. I know it was pretty unstructured and pretty much just like a little chit chat about burnout and, you know, how I fix it myself, but I hope that you found it useful. I hope that you enjoyed it, and thanks everyone for watching, and thanks to all of my wonderful members. I'll see you all in the next video.